Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's me, Whiskey Hotel. This game of Capture the Flag. I do really good. Blah blah blah. I want to get right into my topic because I didn't get to talk about it in my previous video because I talked too long, but I wanted to talk about it, and that is the Affordable Health Care Act, or as a lot of people like to call it, Obamacare. And before I tell you what I think about it and stuff, I want to mention that I don't affiliate myself with a political party, and I'm not like an Obama fanboy. I like a lot of his stuff, but I also really don't like a lot of his stuff. Like I mentioned in my last video, the NDAA that he promised not to sign, and then was like, "Oops, I signed it." That's pretty fucked up. But the Affordable Health Care Act, which gives health insurance privileges to probably 95% of people, barring like extreme poverty or something like that, is in my opinion a great thing. Like, I don't see how anyone can say that it's terrible for our country when, like, currently we don't have public health insurance, but we pay more taxes per person than countries that do have public health insurance. So like when people say that oh, we don't need to be running up our country's debt anymore than we already have, it doesn't make sense because we already pay more taxes than most countries in terms of health insurance, but we have very poor coverage. And the biggest oxymoron of this whole thing is that we are a religious country, oh, Ten Commandments, love thy neighbor, blah blah blah. But then when someone has cancer, they're like, fuck that guy. I'm not paying taxes for that guy. You should get insurance. I should also mention that I have full health insurance through my job, so I'm not coming from the vantage point of an uninsured beggar. But we're the only country, the only industrialized first world, however you want to say it, country that doesn't provide health insurance to its citizens. And to me, that just screams that we're in the wrong. As much as Americans love to be our way is the best, clearly it's not, because countries are thriving with it, and a lot of the drawbacks, quote unquote, that are force-fed into our mouths by Fox News are just incorrect. They say that the doctor's skill level will go down. I really don't think that's true, because doctors are just people just like us. They fuck up, and if you become a doctor to become a rich asshole, then I don't want you working on me anyway. I want a doctor that became a doctor to help people, and that person's going to be good or bad at their job regardless of how much they're getting paid. And then you look at the argument that's oh, you have to wait forever. Well, yeah, the waiting periods might be longer, but the waiting periods are kind of long right now anyway. You have to schedule surgeries months ahead of time. I scheduled a back appointment a couple weeks ago, and I had to book it 2 months out just to have a guy look at my back. And that's ridiculous. But then you also take into account, the fact that most people don't know that in a public health insurance system, there's actually two systems. There's the public version, but then there's also a private version still as well. Private doctors don't become illegal. If you can afford it, you can still go see a private doctor, and you don't have to get on the waiting list or whatever. If you need your tonsils out, you can either get on the waiting list, wait a month or two, get the surgery provided by the government, or you could go see a doctor and pay out of pocket, and you probably get the surgery a couple weeks before that. And it just doesn't make sense to me that a lot of people are adamantly against providing health care to their fellow citizens. It's their fellow citizens are the enemy somehow. And it creates a separation in between us and other people that are our so-called fellow people that doesn't need to exist. We can all be together and have health insurance and get the care and not get fucked over by one accident. If your kidney or sorry, kidney's a bad example. If your spleen, fuck, that's a bad example too. What am I trying to think of? Appendix. If your appendix ruptures, I mean, that shit just happens. That's like a $40,000 surgery. And I don't have $40,000 lying around. And I don't expect anyone else to. So it's ridiculous to think that that's the system we're operating under. And then it also, bonus round, it makes it harder for insurance companies to fuck over people and get out of actually covering them when the people have honest health insurance. Overall, I think it's a great thing for the country, and it's a huge step forward in us coming up to the same level as the rest of the world. But I'll see you next time. Later, dudes.